Welcome to another one of my videos. This one is about Guild Wars 2. I know I've only made like one other video about it on my channel. I was actually meant to make another video, but that didn't really work out because of bad sound qualities. I had the recording done already, but the sounds are way too loud in the game, so all you could hear was like hammer smashing and NPCs yelling. It completely drowned out my voice. Anyway, what this video is going to be about is a bunch of good farming locations if you want to make money in the game. So I'll get right to it. The first ones I'll list are going to be non-expansion needed. So for any of these locations, the first ones we're going to go to, you won't need a single expansion to go farm these locations. In fact, you can use these locations to get enough gold to turn into gems to buy the expansions, because on the gem store in this game, you can buy the collector's edition versions of the expansions. No idea why I'm talking so weirdly today, but at least you're probably getting what I mean. Anyway, starting off, we're going to Queensdale, and I'm going to go all the way to the location, opening the map sometimes to show you how to get there, in case you haven't opened up all the waypoints. So, we're starting off in this village, Shaymore Village, I think that's probably the name of it. All these level 1s and 2s are probably going to be wondering why I'm wandering around here. Wondering what I'm doing here, I'm dropping down my banner, because in this game, warriors, such as myself, have banner abilities, and when you use number 3 on it, you can run around with the banner, and when you do the 3, it gives you a speed boost. So this is basically like mounts in the game before you got a mount. I do have a mount myself, the Raptor from the Path of Fire expansion, but I'm just going to show you how I get there without a mount, because, as I already said, if you don't have the expansion, you won't be able to have a mount, because it's only in the latest expansion you actually get mounts, the Path of Fire expansion. Actually, I never really said that, but I'm saying it now, so whatever. Anyway, so up this cliff we can go. So if you want to see how I got there on the map, we started off here, and we just go down past this big dam water pumping station thing that bandits like to poison over and over again. Every 3 hours or something. I think all the citizens in this city would be dead by now from water poisoning. I was about to say food poisoning, but that's not the case. Yep, so down this hill we go. Oh, and keep in mind that the place we're first going to be going to, it's an Etten cave, so it's filled with these angry big two-handed Ettins, or monster things, yeah, Ettins, that will try and bash your head in. So you want to be at least like level 10 or 15, so you can fight them. Maybe you don't need to be that high, but it helps if you generally have a friend with you, or you know how to dodge a lot or fight them. I'll show you how to fight them as well. You're wondering why I didn't just attack the bandit that shot me? I don't give a crap. We're trying to get to a location here, and we're not here to fight bandits. You didn't come to watch me fight bandits. You want to know how to get money. Sure, fighting bandits can get you money, but you want to know how to get to the farming locations. You can just fight bandits on your own, and it'll probably be much more fun than watching me fight bandits. Oh, little owl. How cute. You just keep in mind that even though I said that it can get you enough money to get the expansions, you're going to be grinding for ages. Like, right now, I'm actually trying to grind for one of the permanent contracts in the game, the hairstylist one. It allows you to change your hair all the time, anytime you want, just by using it. Wow, that's a bit loud. Way too loud, in fact. Kind of annoying. Everything else is fine. It's just that one sword clash and that roar by my character was just way, way too loud. And everything's a lot quieter, though. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's already taking me utterly ages to get the contract. In fact, you can get really awesome looking legendary weapons in this game, which just have awesome effects. And the contract actually costs about as much as those. I've been like grinding for it for about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks now and still haven't got it. Anyway, we're coming up on one of the first locations where you can actually find one of the things I was talking about, which is a large deposit of copper. Oh, and it's guarded by bears, by the way. Okay, so the copper isn't over here. Let me just show you map in a minute after I kill this bear. You know, fun fact, Guild Wars 2 has made me hate virtual bears with a passion. They are just so annoying in this game. They do this rear up attack and then just come down on you and make you bleed. Every time I see one, it just, like, even now, I have this slight little bit of burning anger inside me. Like, I just want to murder all of them. But I think I am going to do that, just to get out of the way. And, keep in mind, I'm not trying to kill the cubs here. It just always happens by accident. Like, every single time I go and swing at these bears, I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to kill the cub. Oh, nope, nope, nope. My weapon is, like, gigantic. It's like a giant 2x4 right now. Like, I have an utterly massive greatsword, and every time I swing, it's just everything in front of me. Smack your hit, smack your hit. Oh, everything wants to kill me now. I better defend myself. Oops, the cubs are dead. That's what always happens. Okay, so the rich copper vein isn't here, but that doesn't really matter that much because I know it does spawn here sometimes. So instead, I'm just going to make my way over to the Etten Cave. Oh, and by the way, if you're wandering around here in our low enough level, this rotting oak heart spawns all the time. Oh, might as well just try and fight it now because it's trying to kill me. As you can see, it doesn't take that much to bring down. Well, I mean, I am level 80 being scaled down, and I have the equivalent of a legendary weapon, an ascended greatsword, but you can see here, with like 3 people teaming up, this thief right here and that engineer, I think, behind him, it doesn't take that much to kill the oak heart, and when you kill it, if you look on the right side of the screen, that purple leather bag that popped up, it's a 5-slot bag, better than your 4-slot, and you can just kill that over and over again to get multiple 4-slot bags. So anyway, here are the Ettins, and the best thing about these Ettins are that they don't knock you down. Higher level Ettins will knock you down, but these ones won't. So basically what I'm doing here is a Leroy Jenkins to show you that with enough skill, you can basically beat every single Ettin at once. Just dodge roll enough. And as you can see here, sure you might be thinking, but you're level 80, you can just like withstand all their attacks. Well, I'm actually dodging almost all their attacks. I've tested this on a lower level character, and you take about as much damage. So you just follow the general strategy of just keep rolling and rolling, rolling and rolling, and landing enough attacks in the Ettins like so. You should be able to kill them all, even the veteran Ettin alone, if you're at least level 10 or 15. The reason why I say this is because right here, the Ettin there is level 10. So if I was lower and he landed a hit on me, it would deal much more damage. And as you can see, you usually get help, because who wouldn't want to go into a giant cave filled with Ettins, because after you kill them, plenty of loot. Which is the copper. And as you can see there, that guy even got up. Even though I didn't heal him, he got up because I killed one of the Ettins. That's how reviving actually works in this game. It's great. If you just burst damage down an enemy and kill even one of them, then they will just die and you get back up. Because the developers are nice like that. Anyway, that was the large copper location. Now I'll move on to something much, much easier to get to. It only requires a little bit of jumping, and you don't have to fight any Ettins at all. So off we go to the Azura starting area, the Misitra province. And the reason why I'm always starting at the very start of these places, like for example this Soren Dra waypoint, is because when you get out of the main cities, this will be exactly where you will start. Like I don't want to go to any of the further waypoints, so then you know exactly how to get there. Yeah, I just have to wait for it to load. Even on like a really good computer, which mine is, I don't know the exact specs of it, but I know it is quite powerful. It does take quite a while to load sometimes, and you can see there the display from where my banner was going to come down isn't coming down properly. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is just, it's a bit of an old engine, a little laggy sometimes. Oh, while I'm on the topic of lag, I don't know if this will help everyone, but once Guild Wars 2 was kind of acting up for me and acting very, very laggy. And to fix the problem, I just updated Java, and it worked again. It was great. I'm not saying it might always work for you, but if you have Java installed and you're running an outdated version, I mean, you might as well give it a go to just fix it and update it and see if that gets Guild Wars 2 working again. Yeah, so to get there, we're just going to go all the way around here and up there. Common mistake people make, going there and thinking you can get across. I don't think you actually can. I don't think there's any holes in the cliffs or anything. Reason why I'm not attacking anything here is because it's all neutral, so it won't actually attack me unless I attack it. Most stuff around here, anyway. A little bit of Inquest, which are like evil Azura in this game. One of the races, you don't have to bother about them. Even these crazed Hylek, it's kind of weird. Like it says, like when I moused it over that guy right there, like this one, crazed Hylek, says basically the game's informing me he probably is kind of insane, but doesn't even matter because he's just neutral. So you can just completely ignore him. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying with all that that Java stuff, another thing to keep in mind is that when you update Java, well, this happens to me anyway, it will ask you to, it will go to this website, and it's a website basically run by Java to verify that the current version of Java is working. Except the problem is, it doesn't work on Google Chrome, but you can just bypass that if you use the regular version of Internet Explorer. And I'm guessing most computers come with that installed by default. If not, I'm pretty sure you can just install it anyway. And yeah, just so you know, if you want to verify that the updated version of Java is working after you've tried my possible fix, that's the way to do it. And if you're wondering what we're going for this time, it's potatoes. Because I don't know why, but the Azura decided to build a potato farm floating in the middle of just about nowhere. In fact, it's covered in a place that's got oozes and jungle worms around that. I don't get how, I really don't understand how all the potatoes just aren't eaten by now. But a lot of things in Guild Wars 2 probably don't make sense. Like, with the amount of heroes running around and how hardy they seem to be, I'm surprised that any evil thing is even left in the world. I expected it all to be dead, chopped up, and mulched by now. Oh, and by the way, any of these points I'm going to show you where you get a lot of resources from, like these farming locations, they are a great way to also get the daily quests done. What I mean by that is, up here, like all these daily completionist thing, like Ore Vista Viewer requires you to just go to Ore, one of the high level locations in the game, and view a vista there, which is like a high up point where you get a little bit of experience and it shows you the surrounding area, so you have a better knowing of what you're going to explore next. And sometimes it would be like a daily gather quest to gather food items in the Misitra province, and since potatoes count as food, you can just go up to this place I'm going to go to and get it right away. Hold on a minute while I open up the map, and I'll show you how I got here, because if you haven't been paying that much attention to the mini-map, I'll just show you. So we start off here, we go up here, past this waypoint, over there, follow the line of dots, over here, and in fact, this thing here, the potato patch is so big, it actually shows up on the map. Yeah, so to get here, it's pretty simple. You just jump up on these, and no, you don't need gliding one of the masteries from Heart of Thorns to get it, you just do it like this. And if you're wondering why you can't see my mouse all the time, it's because I'm using a program called Xpadder that actually allows you to play this with a gamepad. I may need to switch out of it if I ever trying to raid, because it doesn't allow you to access all the abilities on the Engineer, for example, because there's only so many buttons you can map out to an Xbox controller. Well, the Warrior here, you don't have as many tool belt abilities as the Engineers, so it's pretty good. And if you're interested in the program yourself, the guy who created it offers this kind of sort of free trial on his website. I'll link it, and I'll also link a video on how to set up a profile for it, which is basically like a button input profile. For example, right now I'm actually pressing A in the controller to jump instead of spacebar. Oh, and if you're wondering why there's no mouse, if you press page up, like so, it enables the mouse, or disables the mouse, and enables this like, kind of aiming mode, so it's kind of like a third-person shooter. That's how I've been moving around and everything. Anyway, moving on. Onto the next waypoint. Lorclaw waypoint. So we're just going to go to this gate here, and off to another patch of potatoes. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of potatoes. Thing is, potatoes have always been worth like kind of, well, quite a bit in Guild Wars 2. Like around, they've always stayed around the 1 silver mark, which is a lot more than some other stuff. Carrots though, they tend to be really expensive, like 2 silver. So it's actually great to go farm carrots. They just appear anywhere, like in level 25-ish areas, like the Shiver Peaks. You know what? Screw it. I said no mount, but I'm going to use my raptor because it'll get me there much, much quicker. If you get a little lost in the video, you can always just rewind it to see where I've gone, and also I will draw a path afterwards on the map. I'm going to bring up the map right now to just make sure I don't get lost. Okay, so we are heading the right way. So what we're trying to do actually just right now is go there, over here, past here, around here, across this lake, and then down here to that local waypoint. That's where all the potatoes are. Again, this place is really, really useful for completing the daily quest if it's just gather a bunch of food items in the Ascalon region, because this is the Ascalon region. Oh, so keep in mind that if you are doing the daily quest, you will need to do 3 of them. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of things up there, like under the daily completionist thing. There's a dry top event completer, so complete a bunch of events in dry top, and that will count towards your daily achievement, as well as the or Vista View, as I said. But the thing is, if you don't like doing PvE stuff and just like to focus on PvP or world versus world, then those are also great ways to get the daily achievement complete, because sometimes all you have to do is kill a few guards and then you're done with one part of the daily achievement. In fact, that's how sometimes I get my daily achievement done really, really easily. Even if you hate world versus world, you can just go in there, especially if like you plan it. Like if you have like next Sunday free and there's like if it's Saturday and you know if you have Sunday free and there's no school and your parents don't care about you going to bed late, or you just like, well, past the school age and into high school and all that, you could just stay up really late when there's like no one on the enemy side in world versus world and just run around killing guards at castles and waiting for them to respawn. Oh, and this is also a prime spot to show you that raptors don't like water. Yeah, so as you could probably guess already, mounts don't work underwater. Although it is quite funny how like the raptor will act when it hits the water. It does this little like I'm Jesus, I can walk on water moment, and then remembers it's just a raptor and can't swim and disappears. I love it. It makes me wish there was some kind of water walking potion like you can get in World of Warcraft. Like in World of Warcraft, Death Knights, which are basically like a class that is a person who's resurrected by the evil people but then turned good again. Like they're kind of a not really zombie, half zombie thing. And one of the versions of them, Frost Death Knights, which use all these ice abilities, they can have an ability where they will freeze the water and just be able to walk on it. Yeah, really fun to do, especially when like you have some kind of motorbike mount and you can just pretend you're just going total Tokyo drift in the ice, just skidding everywhere. If you want the full experience of that though, get drunk. Get drunk, go on the water, and equip that ice ability. You will sway all over the place. And if you want an even better terrible coordination simulator, get drunk and fly. With the max flying speed in World of Warcraft, you will not be able to control yourself, trust me. I was trying to fly around Stormwind once, and I was just smacking into every single building. Speaking of smacking into buildings, I better smack up these separatists before they ruin my potato gathering journey. Yeah, as you can see, they're pretty terrible. You could even do this at level 10 or 12 or whatever. Separatists just that bad. Even without properly dodging like I'm doing now, you can just beat them. You just run up to them and start swinging your weapon, they generally go down. Especially if you have some kind of auto-healing ability, like I have here. This thing that I've got on, my healing, it's an auto-heal. Yep, so here are the potatoes. You know how to get to them now. And this poor black sheep ends up dying all the time because of it. Because bandits will, like those, not bandits, but separatists will randomly just pop out of the potatoes like some kind of magician. People will be like, oh, bandits! And then use all their AoE abilities, so like grenades and stuff. And then the sheep will get hit. And then the sheep will try and take revenge against the players, and since everyone is so cooperative in Guild Wars 2, all the rest of them are like, don't worry, buddy, I caught you against this sheep, and it just gets murdered all the time. I feel a bit bad for it. Yeah, so, next place is in the Plains, oh wait, not Plains of Ashford, Dacia Plateau. So, start off just, why not actually let's start off in the, Black Citadel. Yeah, so, it's real easy to get here. One of your first quests as a, Char is there. And, if you are not a Char, then you can just unlock any of these places by just teleporting to the, location you would start off if you pick that race, and then walking in the main gate. What I mean by this is, like, each place has them. That one waypoint we started off in near Divinity's Reach in Queensdale, this one, Shamer waypoint, that's where the humans can start, and anyone can go there, and your waypoint cost will be a lot lower. It only costs 3 silver and 31 copper here because I'm such a high level and it's so far away. If you're low level, that would cost only like 11 copper. And the same goes for, like, the Char. That is where you will be able to teleport even as another race, and then you just walk up there, go in there, or here, or somewhere around there, and then you end up in the Black Citadel, which is the Char main place. And once you're inside a capital city, it costs 0 to teleport to any of the waypoints. So you just start off there, run here, you can get this waypoint, and then we just turn around and run outside this main gate, which has this one person here constantly aiming their gun at it. Their arms must be so tired if they were actually real. Keep in mind, though, that if you don't enjoy fighting, this place may not be the best for you, because it includes more fighting. A lot of Flame Legion guard this area. But the great news is, like all the other enemies, since this is low level, they're pushovers. And the area also includes a lot of interactables, like these little flaming rocks you can just constantly pick up and chuck at them. The ghosts are about doing their thing again. Oh yeah, and another thing that's also good is that you will maybe even get a little more silver out of this location, because the enemies here drop these ritual bags, which generally sell for around 2 silver. Prices may vary though. It goes a little bit up and a little bit down, like all economies would. Yes, the thing we're actually trying to get here is a rich iron ore vein. I really like this spot because it's a rich iron ore vein, it usually drops a lot of gems, which generally sell more for the iron ore. Yeah, the Flame Legion, you can basically run past them even if you don't have a mount like I do. In fact, at the end, I usually just run in there and start whacking them, like this. Yeah, this is generally the best idea to do, like, even if you think, I can't be bothered to kill them, they will usually all attack you and generally down you because there's so much of them swarming you if you don't go for them and you are low level. This becomes even easier though if you're like a high level necromancer. You just summon all your minions and you just stand here and watch the loot come in. And as you can see there's another player also mining this iron ore, because why wouldn't you? I could immediately teleport out of here and get to the next location, but I'm not going to, because what will generally happen is I'll be selecting the next new location, and one of the enemies will whack me while I'm in the middle of map selection, and it will cancel my map selection. The good news is, unlike World of Warcraft, enemies won't cancel you mining stuff, or gathering stuff, or chopping down wood, but they will still cancel waypoint transportation, so you can't be a ninja clicker, sadly, and just ninja your way out of most locations. You're like, nah, suck it, enemies. I know how to click fast enough. You don't have a mouse. Oh yeah, also all that other stuff I'm collecting, that shredded garment, that Rampage's iron sword, that usually sells for a lot. And if the thing doesn't sell for too much, you can just salvage it. And then it'll usually drop like a piece of iron or something. Okay, so next location I'm going to, no, I'm not going to go all the way there because it would just take ages, but generally what you want to do is make your way down here and pick some kind of path to get all the way through this area, the Bloodtide Coast. Then end here, go through here, get all the way through here. Then you will start off here, go past this fort, go all the way down here, go through here, break this gate, finally get over here, go through there, and then you finally end up at the last location, which is Packard's Waypoint, but believe me, it is so worth it. It is a gold mine. Just keep in mind you should only do this when you're at least level 70, and better off just make it that you're level 80, because the zombies in this location are much tougher than what you fought before. Trust me, if you, like, for example, teleport to a friend and you're level 15 and you're trying my copper mining spot, you will just get annihilated over and over again. I mean, unless you enjoy that kind of thing, yet it can be really fun to challenge yourself, especially with a max level friend. And the best thing is, with a update that was actually ages ago, Guild Wars 2 has now made it that repair costs don't exist anymore. You can just repair for free. So you can try the most craziest, stupid builds or the biggest challenges ever, wearing your best armor and not even have to take it all off like in World of Warcraft, because there's no repair costs. Yeah, so this is generally why it is such a good idea to come here. Just this one location here. Holy crap, that is bright. Oh, what is causing that? Huh. Guess it must be one of the new skills, one of the new necromancer classes, Scourge. I'm not sure if it's meant to glow that much though. That was just like the sun falling down on my head. Yeah, anyway, as you can see, you can just gather all these trees here, and it will also give you XP for this area if you're not maxed level already, or fill up with masteries if you are maxed level. Masteries are like these, well, it lets you master different abilities. Like gliding is a Heart of Thorns mastery, where you have to collect the little glowing green orbs to complete certain achievements to get it, and then you just fill up the XP bar afterwards. Yes, yeah, so another general reason why this area is so good is because not only does it have all those trees there, but like you see this mithril node here, it will also spawn. And mithril is used for a lot of things. It's really cheap, but I still prefer to get it myself rather than buying it off the auction house. Also keep in mind this earth elemental, I was about to say air, it's not right, here, does not like to be shot at. They're really annoying in that regard, especially if you're using a mostly ranged character like a ranger or an engineer, and you don't prefer swords much. They will they will activate this shield ability where for a little while all projectiles are reflected at you. So that's why I recommend switching to a melee weapon, or if you're an engineer, flamethrowers. They hate flamethrowers because it constantly burns them, and they also can't dodge it. Okay, moving on. Next location we're going to be going to is actually up here earlier, one of the places I told you to go to. The Plinth Timberland waypoint, because over here is a bunch of artichokes which sell for quite a bit. You can also score some kills quite easily here because the Risen, they tend to fight everything, like some zombies do. They're created with a natural aggression, so they'll just any boars or tapir or anything that are in the area or jungle grubs, they will just try to viciously maul, which is great because they're off your back, and if you feel like it, and you like notice that they're both on really low health, you can come in like with 1 or 2 swings, kill both, and get the XP and loot from both of them. Just keep in mind this area has a lot of jungle panthers. Yeah, they're generally a bit annoying, especially when they're this high level. I generally just swing at them a whole heap and put down a lot of AoE fields. Like as an engineer, I just use the flamethrower to put one down, like a flamethrower field, fire field right there. Oh, and if you're wondering why I was dodging, when they do that like ability where it looks like they're powering up, they're going to try and do a pounce. What they'll do first is that you can see they'll go invisible, and then afterwards they will try and pounce on you. And if it hits you, it knocks you down. I don't really care about the damage it actually does at all because I'm such high level, but knocking down is annoying. Oh, and as you can see here, this is what I meant by the Risen will generally fight the wildlife, and the hilarious thing is that the Risen actually kind of suck at fighting. As you can see, this guy's even missing an arm, and he's just failing at killing the jungle grub. Actually, it seems to be quite even, but you know who always nearly wins? Me. Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. I missed nearly every swing against the jungle grub. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, they're both dead. And actually, if you want to be on the side of nature, I guess, you can even choose a weapon which is not as big as my gigantic greatsword here, and position your strikes carefully so that you actually save the wildlife. Because if you don't attack them, they'll go back to being neutral and regain all their health, just like this happy little jungle grub here, which is just staring really intently at me. Yeah, so as you can see here, because I'm using kind of a highish level gathering tool like the Orichalcum one, I'm not sure this is actually the case, but I think it might be the case that it might give you more artichokes per use. Like they're sometimes getting 2 from a single artichoke. So anyway, moving on. Next place we're going to is right here in the Timberline Folds. Granted, this waypoint, the Serpent Waypoint, doesn't have any like really large nodes. It's got a lot of trees near it. In fact, trees can't actually be large trees. Like there's, you know, how we seen that rich iron node and that rich copper node earlier. There's no such thing as a rich tree. And I don't really know why. I mean, you'd think because they have roots and everything, they'd be able to suck up more nutrients from the soil and grow gigantic, but I guess not. Yeah, so as you can see from this area, a lot of just trees and if you're looking right, the bottom right in the minimap, a lot of trees and orb will spawn. This is also, at least when you're down at the bottom of this area, a great way to get platinum. Just keep in mind as you reach the top of the map, if you're starting at the bottom, like I am right now, and not coming in from the top, like a regular leveling person would be doing, then all the ores will, at the top, start off as gold and such, which is not worth as much as platinum, or, in my opinion, not really as useful, because gold is generally just used by, I think, mostly the jeweler profession to create certain jewelry. In fact, it's kind of funny because silver is one of the most worthless materials in this game. Because of it, only jewelers can use it. Like, I'm pretty sure gold has a few other uses, but silver got nearly none. Where other materials will sell for, like, this platinum will generally sell for, like, 2 silver each, like, per little ore chunk on the auction house. Silver, you're selling it for 16 copper per chunk. It's worth nearly nothing, which is kind of hilarious considering, like, it's silver. In real life, it's worth much, much more. Same with gold. We're talking like full-on gold bars, and we're like, gold bars? Who gives a crap about that? Like platinum, iron? Give me the good stuff. Alright, so moving on. Let me just check my notes for a minute. Reason why you can't hear any typing, you might hear like a little crinkling. I actually have this written down on paper right now, because I couldn't be bothered creating a text document. Or rather, I don't want my desktop to be a bigger mess than the already cluttered mess it is. Okay, so that's pretty much all the locations for, like, all the non-Heart of Thorns locations. So the next 2 I'm going to show you will require the Heart of Thorns expansion. Okay, first one is going to be Bloodstone Fen, and to get to this, if you haven't purchased Heart of Thorns early on, like I did, you won't get these places for free. So it's best you either, well, yeah, what I'm trying to say is you have to either pay real money to convert the real money into gems, or you will have to grind a lot to get to grinding spot, which may be very unintuitive. So if you don't already have this place unlocked, and haven't purchased Heart of Thorns, maybe don't bother for now. But if you do, I'll show you what the good spots are. So, generally, when you're coming down, this little island right below the airship is always a good place to go. Oh, and if you don't have gliding, this place is basically going to be impossible to navigate. So at least get level 1 gliding before you come here. Otherwise, you are not going to have a fun time. By that, I mean you jump off the airship and just kamikaze on the floor of the splat. There's nothing you can really do about it unless you're gliding. Yeah, so there's usually always 2 trees at one of these little plants here. These plants, that Cassavana root or whatever it's called that I got, they generally, we used to be worth nearly nothing, but now they're worth 70 copper each. I guess people now want them for some reason. Oh, and these little orbs I'm collecting, these are unbound magic that you can see I'm gathering, like, in the corner. It's used as a currency to purchase stuff in all these new maps, and as well as that, you get a bit of XP each and every time you collect one of those, so they can be great for filling up your Heart of Thorns masteries. Oh, and as you can see in the top right there, the thing that said Treasure Mushroom, this place is a great place to go farm treasure mushrooms. Treasure mushrooms are these invisible mushrooms that you can only see if you have a certain mastery, which is like stealth detection. And if you don't have that mastery, you can't actually see them. But the great news is that the treasure mushroom will just spawn somewhere in this cave here. And there are a bunch of like former teammates of yours with the pack, which is like this big organization, like this big conglomerate, like 3 organizations that have formed together. They're kind of like one of the main good guys in this story, but unfortunately the crazy magical energies of this place have warped their minds, and they've now gone utterly bonkers, and they're now actually allied with the enemies who've all gone bonkers. Basically, nearly everyone in here has gone insane, and when you're insane, you treat other insane people as friends. That's just the logic of this universe. So anyway, the treasure mushroom hasn't spawned, but generally a good idea is, even if you don't have the stealth detection mastery, let's say you've seen a whole heap of players like me up in this corner just madly slashing at the wall like so. Go up and madly slash the wall with as much AoE spells as you can get, because what will generally happen is you will hit the treasure mushroom even though you can't see it, and will get credited for killing it. And the reason why you want to be killing the treasure mushroom is because it sells an invisible set of shoes. What I mean by this is it's a certain like look for the game. Like, you know how World of Warcraft has transmogrification? Basically you can modify armor to look like different stuff while acting as the original things. Well, this game has it too. Just I think called transmutation something. And you get transmutation charges to do it. Anyway, the invisible shoes make it look like you have no shoes on. So it's great for pretending to be you're some kind of homeless guy. But you won't be homeless when you find them, because they sell for tons. I'm not sure how much they actually sell for. You can just look it up if you looked it up on the trading post. In fact, I'm going to do it right now to show you. Just type down invisible. Pretty sure you don't even have to type down that much. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Well, no use looking for this for ages. Maybe they're actually like not on sale right now. That can be the case. They could all be sold, but I kind of doubt that. I'll look it up later and maybe add it as a cut in this video. But generally, yeah, just walk around Bloodstone Fen, go to that one area. If the trees aren't spawned there, they'll be spawned like all over the place when not there. There'll always be somewhere. What I'm saying, there's always trees that you can harvest that get you the same kind of wood that you find at Paga's Waypoint. And just to show you, all the stuff I've been gathering actually does sell for a decent amount. So I try to sell the potatoes, 65 copper each. That's nothing to sniff at. The copper ore, 88 copper. The iron ore, almost 2 silver. The wood we've been gathering, or I've been gathering really, almost 2 silver. The other wood, 1 silver, 60 copper, and then the artichokes, 80. Yeah, that's actually worth the most so far. Also, you generally get unstable pieces of leather from this place. Also, they're called something rather like that, and that generally sells for 7 silver. So if you want to get a lot of money, just do events and stuff in this place. It will get you a lot. Anyway, moving on to the very last location before I end the video, and that is oh yeah, now I remember. Just out of Bloodstone Fen, the Verdant Brink. Yeah, this place, it's probably a bunch of people have already made a video on it. It's a location with a lot of flax, and you will need gliding to get here. I recommend getting somewhat high level gliding, or even maxing it. If you max out gliding, this will be much easier, because if you can tell, when I've been gliding, I haven't needed to stop gliding. What will normally happen is you have the stamina bar, and it will go down as you glide. And if that fully runs out, you will just start falling like a brick. And if you don't like start gliding again, you will just hit the floor and go splat. And the only way to let it recharge is to stop gliding, but you can only fall so far and stop gliding. So you're kind of destined to crash horribly if you don't manage it properly. But if you max out gliding, which does take ages by the way, but trust me, it's worth it, you will love it. Because if you do, while you are gliding and not using a special gliding technique, so you're not leaning forward to go faster, leaning backwards to go slower and braking or anything like that, you will regain gliding stamina just by hanging in the air. It essentially allows you to glide forever. It's one of the best investments I ever made in this game. So what we're generally trying to do here is just bring up the map again. we have gone from the starting waypoint over here into this Itzel village. And don't worry, this is always available. Even if the nice frog people here are under assault and there's enemies everywhere and they're all getting attacked, you can just run past, make sure to not get hit by too many enemies, and then just get around here and jump off. Yes, that was intentional, and so is this. Oh dear. Okay, I didn't plan for this. What a stupid way to die. Apparently, you can't dismount properly. Wait. What? Okay, I've never had that happen before. That was hilarious. Just, I land, I kill my raptor, and it gets up and starts running away Looney Tunes style. Oh, that was never expected. I love just completely unimprovised, unexpected comedy. So yeah, when you're in this trench, be careful because these things will try and kill you, and they're basically vampire, bat horde, mutated things, and they will suck the life out of you. So just run towards these frog people because they will help kill them for you, and maybe even some of the other players will. And here is the flax. It's kind of hard to see, but if I just press control, you can see now it highlights all the flax. Like, it's right there. Even the frogs are gathering. I think they cultivate it here. The bad thing is that flax doesn't really get you as much as it used to. It used to sell for around 2 silver each, but now it sells for much less. Actually, the flax seeds still sell for a little bit, but the flax fiber, the other thing I'm gathering, does not sell for too much. We can just see how much it sells for the trading post in a minute. Oh, so it's actually a very, very decent amount, around like 2 silver each for the flax. I guess it's just the other flax part, the flax fiber that sells for hardly anything now. And I know I was going to say, I said that I was going to end the video, but I'm just going to teleport back to the start, like the breach waypoint, and show you one other way of basically, it's not really gambling, it's just RNG to get a lot of loot. What you do is generally just, you go down here, and go to one of these locations where one of these rivers run across, and just gather all the oysters in them, because you will sometimes be able to find a pearl that sells for around like 6 or 9 gold, depending on how the economy is. So like, yeah, this is what you're looking for right here. These mussels. Maybe they're not oysters, they're mussels. Anyway, yeah, 2 mussels. So you just keep gathering those over and over and over again, hoping to get the drop. And the other thing you can also get them from is as you've seen back in Bloodstone Fen. In fact, I'm just going to quickly zip back there and find one of those plants in case you don't remember what they look like. The Casvana roots. Those things that I told you that sold for 70 silver that were basically useless before, they're actually more useful now, because they also have the potential to spawn a really, really valuable item called a Maguma Lily, which, again, it's just complete RNG. Basically, what I'm saying is, do this kind of thing if you really, really don't mind grind, and you're okay with completely switching off your brain. But if you're the kind of person who gets kind of aggravated with grind and that kind of stuff, I suggest don't do this. It will probably just frustrate you to no end, and you may even end up cursing my guide in the end, which is not the intention. The intention is to show you to make money, ways to make money that does not ruin your mind, like Hero Insane or anything. Yeah, so that's what the plant looks like there, right there, jungle plants. Yeah, and also you will, apparently according to the right of the screen, you will also get dandelions from that. Don't be all hyped about that. It's completely useless. It's just a 2 copper worth junk item that you will also get from low-level areas. Oh, speaking of low-level areas, 2 more excellent ways of getting money is, remember when we were back in Pagger's Waypoint, how I was talking about how the mithril ore there is very, very good to gather? Well, when you're back over there, the mithril ore might not sell for much, but the gems that pop out of it sell for 3 silver each, and if you have a good enough magic find, you'll find heaps of them. So that's generally a good thing to gather. There's one other thing I was going to say though, I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, that was it. Another way of making money is just go to any low-level area like the Plains of Ashenford around here and just gather every single herb you can. So everything that pops up is one of these little green markers here on the mini-map. That's what a herb looks like. It says jungle plants. And that's what a tree looks like, and ore will look like just some silver. You've probably seen it before. So just gather every herb you can, and you will find a lot of garlic. Garlic sells for around 6 silver right now. It's like a gold mine for a new player. Just keep on going to get it, and I don't think it'll drop in price anytime soon because it's kind of a tedious task to go around a low-level area constantly gathering all the herbs, hoping you get garlic. Oh, by the way, that's kind of the thing you get from is called mature herbs. Don't go looking for garlic and blueberry bushes. You'll just get blueberries. They don't sell for that much. If you want to use cooking, sure, go for blueberries. If you're just in it for money, either just sell them or completely skip the blueberries. But I usually don't skip them because otherwise I get frustrated because I confuse a blueberry on my mini-map for a garlic. So anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I didn't show every single location that is great for farming, and there are probably more. These are just some extremely basic ones. In fact, that's what I'm going to like label the video, extremely basic farming locations. It's not like anything grand or anything. You won't get tons and tons of money. If you want tons of money, look up other people's guides, like, I don't know, such and such awesome gold farm 2018, like you can find on YouTube. Or do stuff like fractals and tier 4 fractals. They get you tons and tons of money according to my guild members. I just hope this was useful for you and showing you a way to get quite a few locations which are kind of mostly stress-free. Especially if you're max level like I am. You can just beat the Flame Legion up like it's no problem. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching and bye.